Hi there, everyone. It's Drunken Yoda Unplugged again. And for some reason, I'm talking about Tim Pool again. And I wasn't, this isn't on purpose. Just, I watched a video of his the other day, and he said something that I just fundamentally disagree with. And I generally like Tim Pool. I like him a lot. I think he's a sincere guy trying to do what he can. But I think that he ran into the same problem that a lot of people have with free speech. And I will play you the little clip here that I have and let you listen to it, and then we'll kind of go from there.
I think that there was a period of very serious fake news on Facebook. This is interesting. I don't disagree with censorship outright. Censorship is a good thing. Now, political censorship in the way we're seeing it is a bad thing. The good censorship is when people post criminal images of children, if you know what I mean.
I'm okay with that. There is a law it's been codified. We voted the people in. The people put down the laws that says you can't hide behind free speech to take dirty pictures of children or to try to engage in sexual activity or to threaten people, to incite, to cause violence, a direct call to action to violence, things like that. I'm not completely familiar with all the laws, and I'm sure somebody like Rakita or something could set me straight, or some of you down in the comments. But the point is that there are certain laws that are already in place, and that's the way they should be. So I'm good with that. So then he continues.
Censors are the people who would come in and remove that. I believe there is warranted censorship when people were creating fake news websites and literally just posting lies. I think.
No. That's where I have a disagreement. Now, he's talking about these political lies. I'll let him talk a little bit
those
more.
Websites should be taken down. But these were egregious. There are websites that would make up fake stories where it's like, like ambulance crashes after BLM protesters, block it in the highway or something. And people would just believe it was real, and it would come from the Liberty Tree 1776 dot website or something.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying there. But here's the problem. Free speech is not just a right. It's also a responsibility. The people, there have always been muckrakers in journalism, journalists who have said lies, who have printed lies. It is not up to some higher technological oligarch to decide to take that down. That's not the job of the government. That's not the job of some corporation. That's not the job. That is our job to refute the lies. That's what Tim does every day. Is he stands up this new place to refute the lies, not to take down the lies. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. We need these people to say their stupidity. I mean, take for example, isn't there a ton of people who sit out there and say the earth is flat? They do all these ridiculous, provably wrong. Some may call them lies. Some may just say they're completely wrong. Videos, websites, everything, talking about the earth is flat. Why don't we take them down? Why is these lies need to be taken down and those lies don't? Well, people believe them. There's people that believe the flat earth stuff. People believe the flat earth stuff. You don't think it's dangerous? If they get a pilot's license, it will be. I'm just saying that I get the animosity when you see these things being put up there and it's completely 100% lies. I get it. The problem we have now is that people are making censorship decisions. Who gets to make those decisions? Who gets to take down that website? You? You, Tim? Who is trustworthy enough to do that? I mean, censorship is like the One Ring. That's the one. That's your go-to, right? Isn't you love the Lord of the Rings? Censorship's is the One Ring. You can't wield it because nobody's completely objective, and nobody can decide what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said. What is incumbent upon us is to stand up. I hate using buzzwords, but it's incumbent upon us to speak up and refute the lies, to do our best to go after the lies, to try to refute them as factually as possible and back our stuff up, and then let people make the choice about which one is true and which one is false. The truth will win out. I do believe that. But if you say we just need to take them down just arbitrarily, well, what's been happening with that? How many people on the right have been just taken down arbitrarily by Twitter? I mean, you say, yes, those sites should have been taken down. I ask you again, by who? Who gets to have that power to make those decisions? I don't think it should be in any one person's power. I think they should be allowed to stay up. And when I say allowed, I mean by the government or by whatever corporation. I don't care. You allow that stuff to stay up, but then it's up to us. It's up to us as citizens to go out there and refute them, to put up our own websites, to do our own YouTube shows. It's not like there's any shortage of people doing that. It's our responsibility to speak, to speak out against lies, but it's not our responsibility to simply remove them because we don't want to hear them or because we think they're wrong. That's the lazy way out. That's not the how you do it. So when you said that, Tim, I didn't like it. I don't know who is allowed to have that power. And what I've seen over the past 10, 15, 20 years is that people who get that power abuse it every single time. So where you may get rid of a site that is clearly full of lies, then they start getting rid of sites that maybe aren't full of lies or maybe are full of opinions. Maybe they get rid of things that we need to talk about, like whether or not men can be women, before people start hacking things off themselves. I mean, we're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff anymore. Who got to decide that? Who gets to decide who gets to decide who takes these down? What is factual and what is not factual? I mean, there's something up there that's full of lies. It's incumbent upon us as citizens to cut through that, to do the work. And we don't do the work. We sit around and we act like our I mean, I see those man in the streets interviews where they say, who's the vice president of the United States? They don't have a clue. What year was the country founded? 1941. That's us failing as a people to not be educated on what actually is, so that we can start from there. So I had a comment that said Fox, OAN, Newsmax, and Sky TV all have one thing in common. Trump's words and actions are never questioned. That's not true. It's not true. I watch Fox plenty. I can tell you many, many times when people question what Trump was saying, what he was doing, why he was doing it. Geraldo is not his biggest fan. So right there, you don't know what you're talking about. I can illustrate it. Then you say, these tabloids channels enjoy the highest ratings of all the TV channels. Their viewers are given an extremely censored view of the world. Really? Manipulating their viewers by fabricating stories. Which stories? Which ones? Show me the evidence. I mean, I'm not saying Fox perfect, but you're going to have to do more than just making an assertion and then just saying it is fact. There is no journalists at these news channels. MSNBC, CNN, and NPTV have much lower ratings because they have journalists who ask all kinds of questions. Really? You believe that? You believe that? So explain to me how in 2006, the Duke University lacrosse team, whose 3 members stood for trial and rape, how they could over and over and over again say they did it until the trial came out and realized that they didn't do it. How can you tell me that MSNBC can show a doctored version of the 911 tape and call that journalistic standards? where he said, I see this guy here. He looks suspicious. I think he's black. And they edited out where the 911 person says, what does he look like? What race is he? They edited that out to make him look racist. How could you say that when they all repeated the lie that Darren Wilson shot Michael Brown and that Michael Brown had his hands up saying don't shoot? That was a lie. It was proven a lie. It's a lie on tape. Why do you, where's the journalistic standards there? How do you reconcile this? How do you reconcile people, ABC, the reporter caught on tape saying, we had the Jeffrey Epstein story and ABC quashed it. They wouldn't let us. Where's the tough questions there? How many little girls had to get raped at Jeffrey Epstein's island and traffic before you think that maybe they failed there? I'm giving you example after example after example. You gave me nothing. You gave me no examples. They said Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with a gun. He did not. That was not true. Proven in court. They said that he murdered 3 black men. That was not true. He murdered 3 white. He didn't murder anybody. He had 3 white men screaming the N-word, by the way, come after him, chase him down until he had no choice. It's on tape. Many, many witnesses. Found completely innocent. All of the mainstream news said he was guilty. Kyle Salmon, they said this kid, was goading a Native American. Didn't show the whole tape where the Native American walked up to him. And where are the tough questions on Kavanaugh? Oh, yeah, they're asking all kinds of tough questions about January 6th. Where are the tough questions about May 20th? Don't talk to me about the journalistic standards at MSNBC and CNN. I can go through reams of them going back decades. So how do you come up with this nonsense? Do I want any of these channels to be taken off the air? No. Defamation is a process that we go through the court system, through our representatives, through the state that represents the people. And they have their day in court, and the process is done, hopefully with justice being done. And that if they're going to lie and defame, they're going to get punished for it. But to arbitrarily take them off the air, to just take down their sites, to just take down their channels, absolutely not. And I know you don't believe this either, Tim. So when you said that, it was very disappointing to me. I feel like that broke some sort of journalistic ethic that you usually try to sit behind. So I understand where you're coming from. I don't like the lies either. I don't like the manipulation either. But it's our responsibility to cut through that. It's our responsibility to not just take everything we're spoon-fed from one set of networks or the other. It's our responsibility to understand the true objective facts. It's our responsibility to understand the groundwork and the foundations of why these things are in place in the first place. We got kids are saying free speech is bad. They don't even know why free speech is so important. So we've failed ourselves as far as education. We're failing ourselves in understanding, and even a guy I believe is as well-rounded and educated as you could slip up and say, but we need to take these sites down. What, the ones that you didn't like? Ones that you could provably show objectively that they were lying? So you get to make that decision? Who gets to make that decision? That's the problem. The fight has to be fought at ground level. The information war has to be fought at our level and pushed back by the people. And it's up to us to get up off our butts, stop watching Netflix, and start looking into these things and really understanding what's going on in the world. And not just be in a fog. And if you are going to walk around in a fog all the time, then stop voting. Don't put let the people that are at least in the know and have done the research and can speak reasonably well about these issues do the voting, and maybe we'll get rid of some of these liars. I'm not advocating taking away anybody's votes. I'm advocating that if you're not informed, you are doing yourself and the country a disservice by voting for whatever you find out about on CNN in October, the last week of October. That's lazy, and that's just not, you're not taking responsibility for your country, for your citizenship, and we used to do that. And if even a guy like Tim Pool can fall into the trap of saying we need to take certain things off the air, off the web, that sort of thing, it's a fight we're always going to have to push back against. Free speech has to be fairly absolute, or else it won't work for anybody. Anyhow, that's my rant of the day. Tune in some more Drunken Yoda Unplugged, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.